When you watch the documentary and they portrayed you as somebody who's not maybe you don't enjoy spending money quite as much as the next person.
Yeah, we're called Jews. A little respect, asshole.
Did you feel like I don't like the way I was portrayed as much, or did you go, it's about time people realized I like to keep what's mine and take what's yours?
Oh, well, watching the documentary, to me, it's like, that first time you hear yourself recorded or you see yourself and you go, oh, God, that's not me.
Yeah.
And that's like watching the documentary.
Well, do you still save all those like shampoos and stuff?
Yes.
Do you use them?
Yes. Yeah, I use them.
I love that he goes, he watches the documentary, and he goes, no, that's not me. And then he continues to do everything he did in the documentary. Like, he doesn't stop a thing.
Yeah, I don't stop it, but I just go. And watching myself, I felt like, I thought I walked like Red Fox in Sanford.
Gilbert's the only guy who gets wanded leaving the show, not entering.
Have you ever been caught stealing anything embarrassing from a venue?
Yes, he has. At Artie Lang's show.
What happened?
I forget what they call you taking. It was like a coffee maker. When Nick DiPaolo and Artie had the show on DirecTV.
Right.
From the green room. They were like, yeah, Gilbert was here. He took the coffee maker. They had to make him, like, they caught him.
Did you steal Nick DiPaolo and Artie Lang's coffee maker?
It was something from the back.
Not the coffee maker.
Yeah.
I probably
all the coffees?
stole some coffees from them.
Whatever it was, they caught him, and it was a problem.
The coffee, if I could slip it under my jacket, I would have taken the coffee maker.
By the way, that's what they paid with. That was coffee.
That was a fun gig. You did that show a bunch.
Yeah.
I loved that. A giant studio with two hot girls.
Nice, man.
And what I remember at that show, besides Bichetti being the announcers, all these pretzels.
Yes.
They had those, those fucking flat, it looks like a pretzel has been sliced with a deli slicer.
Yeah.
They're the best.
They were great.
You miss doing the Artie and Nick show for the pretzels.
Yes, I do.
I see. That's pretty good insight.
I do. I love the pretzels.
That really says a lot about the legacy of a show.
It was just so much fun. You'd sit there. And
I hope one day people go, I miss doing Jim and Sam because the intern used to bring us coffee.
That's true.
Yeah, they had a box of tissues on the desk. Yeah, we really missed the show.
Yeah, nobody was looking. You go home with the whole box. No problem.
They had a water fountain at the end of the hallway. I really missed their show.
The toilet had those little square papers like high school. Little square toilet papers.
So do you strategize your meals? Meaning, when you go to a show, do you go like, okay, no, I'm not going to eat before the show?
Absolutely.
Because they're going to give me a free meal.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to eat more than I actually want so that I'm not hungry after.
And you know what I hate, too, is if I get 2 offers for a free meal in one day, then I feel like, one rules out the other.
I see.
It's
because you want to eat enough for the first free meal that it's going to last you all day.
Exactly.
And I'd rather have the second meal tomorrow, so that way I eat for free tomorrow too. That makes sense to me.
You also have to factor in him missing an opportunity for yet another free meal is going to burn him up all fucking day and night.
Absolutely.
It will.
Oh yeah.
It'll get you upset.
Is your wife like this too?
Yeah, no. She'll eat. She'll want to pay for a meal.
Right,
Not
you don't
me.
like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys argue about it?
What?
She's one of those that likes
she's
to buy
one of
food?
those.
Yeah.
Do you guys argue about it or no?
One of those that puts your hand in your pocket and takes out $1. One of those people.
So is it frustrating if you're out, like she wants to go out and eat, and you're like, I want to just stay here?
Oh, sure. And then it's kind of like, I guess it's the way of describing the Gentiles. He's one of those people who pays for his meal.
If you're going on
shiksa,
are you a big tipper?
Oh, God, I don't know. I never know what to do. That's like a scary thing.
Do you tip drivers?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. You know what that means?
No.
But I don't want to say that on the radio.
Right.
When, let's say you get like an Uber Eats or something like that. What Uber and Uber Eats do now is they'll come up after the thing gets delivered and the whole transaction is over. A thing will come up on your screen going, I hope you enjoyed your whatever service, drive, or meal. Would you like to tip the driver? What option would you take? 2, 4, 6, or no thanks?
Well, if my name is attached to it, then you feel more pressure.
I see.
To tip.
I see. But if it's anonymous.
Oh, anonymous!
That's gonna be no go.
I'd fuck the guy over in a second.
It's hard to know. Everyone knows you.
Yeah.
What's the biggest tip you've ever given someone?
Oh, I don't know. If I left that
You
big,
ever put down a 5 spot?
what, $5? Yes.
Well, did you see him clutch his chest?
What am I, Rockefeller?
When you go on vacation with your family, will you pay for first-class airfare? I mean, you've been in show business for so long.
You have been.
Would you pay for first-class airfare in a 5-star hotel?
Not a first class. A couple of times I've used maybe miles. To get,
Sure.
But the funny thing is, I remember in the old days of airlines, I would get on, I'd have a coach ticket, and back then, if they recognize you, if they recognize you, they go, oh, here, let me see if there's something, and they would never do that.
It's all computerized now. They can't. It's all on a computer.
Yeah.
So would you just go to the airport every time wearing a problem child T-shirt?
It won't help. They won't put you on first.
She's boarding the plane.
Parrot, come through! And there were a couple of times I've done this where I'd walk past the first class lounge, and then I'd act like play stupid, and I just ask, like, I want some information about the place.
Right.
And then, if they recognize me, they go, oh, why don't you come? But forget it.
They don't do it anymore, right?
No, now you could be a member of the first class club, and they'll hold you out.
Yeah. Do you worry sometimes that when you're sitting in coach, people will go, that's the big celebrity, Gilbert Gottfried. What's he doing in coach?
Oh, sure.
Don't you want to maintain a certain image of yourself?
No.
No.
Not if I could save $1.
Right, not unless it's free.
Yeah.
I see. Do you and your wife eat separately? She'll go to a place where you have to pay, and you'll maybe look for something.
That's like that Henny Youngman joke. Yeah. Me and my wife have a romantic dinner every week. She goes on Wednesday, I go on Thursday.
But will you at least allow her to find without giving her a hard time?
Yes.
Or do you give her a hard time?
I'll give her a hard time.
You will?
Yes.
Okay.
I also picture Gilbert as a guy who's totally fine with sitting in the middle seat on a flight.
No, middle? Oh, God.
You're-
I've sat in the middle of you. That's pretty horrible.
It sucks. It's the worst.
That is torture.
Do you check your seat before the plane? Like before you fly, do you ask for a specific seat?
Yeah, I used to. Oh, God, I remember there was one. Well, this was when a TV show was flying me out. There was one airline that had what everybody referred to as the Captain Kirk seat.
The middle seat was
Yes.
American Airlines first class cross country.
Yes.
Yeah, and on that, it was 2 on the left, 1 middle, 2 on the right. I think TWA had it was this big 767.
It would be a single person, meaning there's 2 rows.
That was great.
I sat behind Al Sharpton once. He was in the first middle seat, and I was in the second middle seat. And I just watched him sleep for the whole flight.
Oh, one time I was in the middle seat, and I was sitting behind Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh.
And it was right after Kiefer Sutherland, like Julia Roberts, didn't show up at the wedding.
She was shitting at home.
Yeah, she was taking a
Wow,
big
did she stand him
shit.
up at the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, and this is 100% true. The stewardess is handing out earphones, and she says to Kiefer Sutherland, will you be watching the movie today? And he said, watch the movie. And I swear to God, she said, Julia Roberts in Runaway Bride.
No.
Yeah. And he surprisingly said no.
No, thank you.
Yeah. That was 100% true.
That middle seat on that American flight was so fucking great.
It was like Captain Kirk, the way he sits in that big seat with the big armrest right in the center.
Nobody bothers you. No one to the left or right. You can jump out each aisle to piss. It's up to you.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do with your offspring, Gilbert?
Or if you're Julia Roberts, you can jump out to shit.
Everybody knows. Let her through. She's got to go shit.
Yeah, you get shit in the rug.
children can be very, very expensive.
Yes.
Not only, if they're...
Not to Gilbert.
They can, not only for their schooling, but also for their recreation. There's always there's a new toy. There's this. There's that. They want to whatever. Are you chintzy with your offspring as well, or is that a different scenario?
Now that's something that's. See, now, I remember when I was a kid, there were these things, these toys they advertised on TV, and I thought, I'll never have one of those.
Right.
Yeah, like my parents would never get me.
Were they cheap?
Yeah, well, they didn't have that much money. They didn't, it was like, and you know what? This. I always think about my parents when I think of
Coming.
Yeah,
I thought I was the only one.
when I'm jerking off and fingering my asshole at the same time. Surprisingly,
it's like mom and dad are both here.
I think of my dead grandparents.
Whatever gets you there, Gilbert. No judgment here. Nobody's here to judge you, pal.
I always think when I complain about jobs I have, like, doing a club or whatever, and then I think, wow, like my father actually got his hands dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure you did.
Right.
Fingering your asshole.
But so what do you do? I mean, you have money, unlike your parents. When your kids say, I want something, you got to give it to them, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't...
Or I might put them up for adoption.
Okay.
If the price is too high.
Or try to sell them, like an Oliver Twist, make a couple bucks off them.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried. I'm selling my kid.
See, now the imitation he just did there.
Right.
I sometimes when I'm on stage, or when I feel it the most,
Where?
When I'm at some event and like a reporter will put a mic in my face and I feel like I have to say something funny.
Right.
And you're like, what's the Gilbert Gottfried voice again? Let me start doing the voice. Yeah.
And so your imitation just now, I felt like that's funnier than me. 90% of the time.
Do you ever feel not funny going on stage?
Do you ever get this feeling on stage that sometimes when you're up there in the middle of it, all of a sudden it comes into your head and you say, what the fuck am I doing right now? It's like there's a bunch of people looking at me and I'm standing here.
It's like autopilot. Sometimes I'll be like, am I here right now? Like, it doesn't feel like I even am there. It feels like I'm lightheaded and I'm somewhere else. And I'm like, just keep talking. This is real. This is happening. It's really...
Yes.
You ever just look at them and then in your head you're like, I fooled all these people.
Yeah.
They actually
Oh, well, I mean,
I think I'm good at this.
I felt that way my entire career.
I know.
It's like I always feel like show business I snuck into. It's a party that I snuck into.
Right.
And one day they're going to look at the guest list and see I'm not invited.
You're just constantly waiting for that metaphorical bouncer, like you're just looking over your shoulder at all times.
I never get bothered by hecklers because they're like, you suck. You go, you don't like me? I hate me.
Yeah, exactly.
You've just known me for 3 minutes. Yeah. I've known me my whole fucking life.
And you're right.
Yeah,
I'm garbage.
Yeah, I'm not denying it.
That's why I'm calling my new CD Fooling You. Yeah, I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of CDs.
Yes. I'll fuck one. Shoot. Oh.